Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast.
Coming to you out of SideQuest Studios, this is the Simpsons Index, episode 212. Hello out there, I'm your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill, and it brings me great pleasure to tell you that when I say we're coming out of SideQuest Studios...
We're coming out of SideQuest Studios!
All of us are coming out of SideQuest Studios.
Woo! I can slap Elliot if I want to.
Well, you have to reach a bit. You are.
I mean, yeah, I'm still lazy, but no.
Anyway, the slappy in question is BT Calloway.
Hoi hoi.
And joining us, coming all the way over from a beautiful Adelaide to depressing, disgusting, gross, yucky Sydney, is Christopher Bond.
Hi!
And thank you for joining us for the Simpsons Index. This is a podcast where we watch and review Simpsons, and they come from different decades. Most of the time it's 3 episodes. Today it's 2. Why? Fuck you. Who cares? So
get used to it. This is our future.
Yeah, and this is a very special episode, not only because this is the first fucking podcast that we're not doing over Zoom.
Yep.
We're all in the same room.
Yep.
Interstate guest. Fuck, there's so many things.
There are
I have
rainbows
so many
and
feelings.
unicorns just flying around the room. It's a special day, people.
It really is. But also today, we're doing the first episode from a new season for us. So we're starting out with the season 33 episode. And then the next episode we'll review will be the last season 6 episode we'll be reviewing.
Wow.
I think it's the only time on the podcast that's going to happen.
So many things are happening in this episode.
Yeah.
Mark it in your... Whenever you listen to this, mark it in your calendar.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is the day you listened to this podcast.
And keep that calendar.
Your children will ask you. You know.
Yeah, where were you?
Yep.
Where were you?
So that when you go through with your children and their children through your stack of calendars.
Yep. That everyone keeps, obviously.
Of course. It's not digital. It's a physical thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. We're normal people.
Yeah.
But yeah, thank you as well for joining us today, Chris. It's an absolute pleasure.
It's a delight to be here. I love being... Well, I've never been here, but I love being on the podcast, and I love the podcast. So it's great to be on.
And that's the thing which you mentioned, you know, you guys at home, wherever you are listening to this podcast, have heard Chris on the podcast a bunch of times, and we've hung out with Chris a bunch of times.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time we've hung out in person.
I know.
Yeah. I'm here for a podcast award, and it's great to be podcasting moments before going off. It's excellent.
Yeah, it's weird to think that we've killed each other in Among Us and yet never met.
Honestly, if I feel like we have, though.
Yeah.
Killing someone in Among Us is a real bonding activity, a real show, a revealing of who you truly are.
Oh.
Yes. Not only killing each other, but killing each other with laughter and friendship.
And murder.
Most importantly, murder. But yes, I was just about to say you should go vote for Roll to cast in the listener, but that'll be
Bit
over.
late.
That's
Bit late.
the awards tonight. But
you can celebrate with us if we won
Yes.
our Best Fiction Award. And obviously, if we didn't win that, you, dear listener, are indignant with us.
Yeah.
Join me in that indignation.
But listen to Roll to Cast. They've just started their 6th season doing The Witcher at the moment.
Yes.
Easily one of our best seasons, if not our best season. So I'm genuinely so excited for people to listen to Roll to Cast Season 6. It's going to be amazing.
Even
Absolutely.
listening to episode 0, I'm like, oh, I'm excited.
Yeah. And we have a new composer on as well. So it's all cool things happening.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. And yeah, go follow them on Patreon and toss a coin to them.
Oh.
Hey!
I've been sitting on that for so long.
That's awesome.
All right, let's hook into the review. We just watched season 33. God, that's fucking weird. Episode 8, Portrait of a Lackey on Fire. First released last month, November of 2021. It was directed by Stephen Dean Moore. And another first, written by Rob Lazebnik and his son, Johnny Lazebnik. This is the first time that a parent-child writing combo has been on The Simpsons, so that's a little special as well. In this episode, Homer matches Smithers up with Michael DeGraff, who ends up being seemingly a nice tycoon, but ends up being just a regular kind. Hey, what did we think?
I have thoughts. I'm still articulating them properly, but actually kind of good.
Yeah, for someone who obviously doesn't keep up with, I say this, obviously doesn't keep up with contemporary Simpsons. For someone who doesn't keep up with contemporary Simpsons, this felt like a modern enough version of a classic Simpsons episode. In that it had a personal story with a extras character, Smithers, dealing with a moral thing.
Yeah.
That seems like it's got all the ingredients for a classic Simpsons episode. And whilst it didn't feel like a classics one necessarily, maybe, but it definitely felt like a contemporary one.
Yeah, I gotta say, because like we keep saying when Simpsons want to tackle, quote issues, easy episodes, I don't know, where they're trying to like
when they're very obviously playing their hand, and especially this one where they're very clearly pointing at themselves, going, "Look how woke we are now."
Yeah.
I did write down immediately, okay, are they going to fuck this up? And to their credit, I don't think they did. But my main point on this one is halfway through, I'm like, okay, this is kind of a nice story for Smithers. They're nice, they're giving him something after so long of being shat on by everybody. But there's no real conflict. There's nothing really story-wise. And then they introduce some conflict. Like, oh, okay. Wow, I'm kind of impressed.
Well, it was actually one where I quite like the writing, but I think the performances let it down, to be honest. Like, I think just a lot of the voice acting was just a bit woeful.
Everyone sounds so old and tired. And like we've said it so many times, Marge sounds like a blender.
Yeah.
And even Mr. Burns just sounds off. And he is like unquestionably the best character on the show. So to have him sound poorly is very kind of depressing.
Yeah. Oh, like, and it's Mr. Burns has always been like, you know how you're learning to talk again in person?
Yeah.
I've been talking to people through Zoom for fucking weeks now.
Like if you want, I'll just hold up like a cardboard screen around my face.
Would you?
And it'll just occasionally lag and drop out. And
also click the touch up your appearance button.
Ouch. But zing.
I'm such a bitch. Mr. Burns, he's always meant to be, senile and old and stuff, but like, not this old.
No, tired is the right way to describe it.
Yeah.
I was thinking something's like, obviously they sound like older, the voice actors don't have that kind of flexibility, but tired is the right attitude. It doesn't feel that they've steered into the qualities that being older as a performer has. Like it's like, all of those lower registers and those maybe glottal fry kind of qualities or anything like that. They aren't choices. They're just conditions that are put on the voice actors having to struggle through rather than it being a quirk or a development of the characters or the voice actors steering into it.
Yep.
Yeah. And
or it was just everyone was slowed down by 15%. It just had that quality to it.
yeah, because the episode did feel short as well, which is a weird thing. But yeah, and it's a shame because like we often talk about, would I like this a lot more if this was another show that was written exactly the same? It just it happens to have the Simpsons skins on it, so there's a certain precedent that's already been set. And I don't know, I think to your point before, Chris, it feels like a modern Simpsons certainly, but I don't think they whiffed it entirely.
No, it's not offensive.
Yeah.
Certainly. Right? Like
that's a good start.
Yeah, there we go. Tick.
Well, no one's standing outside with a torch and a pitchfork. Well done.
Yeah. And we didn't groan at the end of it.
Yeah. No, that's right. No, in fact, at the end of it, I went, oh, come on, that's just lovely.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's the other thing that's worth mentioning is that, Johnny Lazebnik,
Johnny Lazebnik just sounds like a made-up name.
Sounds like a gangster name.
Yeah. Hey, Johnny Lazebnik.
I'm pretty sure you said that for Rob Lazebnik, because...
Oh, I mean, that we got a trend going of fictional people.
Yeah, because, Johnny's an out-and-out gay man, and, it's sort of... This episode, I wanted to do this one especially now, because it is doing the rounds on social media and stuff, and it's... feels like an important milestone for The Simpsons in a couple of ways.
It feels like they're trying, genuinely trying. And maybe the biggest criticism you could level on this one is that they're maybe stepping a little too lightly. There's a certain aspect I'll discuss in what stood out to me, for better or worse, when we get to that.
Well, we'll start with Chris, though.
Yeah, sure.
What stands out to you, for better or worse?
This is interesting. This is the second Simpsons Indexed episode about third one where we've talked about gay character moments where I've been on it.
Thank you for being our correspondent for these sort of issues.
No, it's great.
It's been you and David Malloy.
Yeah, no, it's great. Hey, David. So that's interesting because I've got the comparisons, and there's 3, including this. There's Homophobia, which is season 6, 7, 8. 6, 7, it's 8, I think.
5,
One
6,
of those.
7, 8.
Like, everyone just yell your answer at your podcasting device now.
Vote now on your phones. Thank you. And then there's the one where... What is it?
Abe has the flashbacks.
That's right. Abe has a flashback.
Oh my God, I've made you do 4 now then.
What was the third? What's the other one then?
Flaming Mo, where Mo rebrands his bar as a gay bar.
Oh, yeah!
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, because I was thinking about all your solo ones, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right, the one where we got all the bearders on.
That's right. Yeah. Cool. So those all filter in.
Yep.
And this one is was it season 8?
It was season 8.
Hey, look at that. And this one is not about homosexuality as an idea. Right? Like, it's a gay man wanting to have a relationship.
Yeah.
But that's it. It's just a relationship.
The story is Smithers' relationship, not
him
how do we
being-
deal with this issue?
Exactly. And so that's lovely to have an episode about that. And I think that's a wise way of going about it, is not going, oh, we need to highlight homosexuality as an idea. It's like, no, that's all, just establish that it's a relationship.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you're going to inevitably, like you say, fuck it up pretty hard in dealing with stereotypes or dealing with issues that really aren't their job to deal with. Because it's the main characters aren't gay. It's Homer and Marge and the kids. So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the sort of thing with homophobia, in that it was more of like an issue that the 90s felt like they had to, deal with and zero in like that, and not just, play it cool. Don't focus in too hard on
Just
it.
be
They're
cool,
just people.
90s.
Like,
Just be cool.
Yeah,
But I
honestly.
mean, we all said that episode held up surprisingly well, and it's these other episodes that we've fucking dug into, which make such a
Whiffed
point
it.
about it, and whiff it so horribly. Oh god, I almost forgot the fucking mad about the toy. The
Yeah,
phone.
mad
That
about
was
the
so
toy.
insidious.
It's a weird fucking ride.
Super is. It's super. I remember I got hot about that episode.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
got mad. Go listen back to that episode and then come back to this one. Just to hear me get real grumpy.
and then get elated, because that was also the one we did. You only move twice.
Oh yeah. What a great episode of The
good.
Simpsons Index that is.
Yeah.
Go listen to that episode.
And our lives.
And our lives. Yeah, what a great moment in our lives.
How about you, BT? What stands out to you from this episode, for better or worse?
All right, so for reasons I feel like I understand, but oh well, we'll debate it anyway. We get to see just a whole bunch of what's the Italian chef's name again?
Luigi?
Oh, Luigi.
Luigi's mother, who just rants in Italian for a while, and you get from his response that she's saying some homophobic things, but it's all, no, Mum, love is love. And it's like, I can see what you're building a straw man in front of me. And it's very weird to see that happen. And then later on, she's speaking English just fine, and is all like, no, I only thought I hated these people because I am secretly gay. And it's like, what, why are we, okay.
And now she's telling us how she humps a pillow.
Yeah, and it's like, what? This is you're the mother of a D character for starters.
Yeah.
And just again, it's not the worst. It's just very weird to almost grind to a halt to basically watch a straw man being built and then burned.
Yeah, that is a weird point, and one moment where you could say, they whiffed it. And especially because, Simpsons at this point now have corrected, the issue that was raised in the problem with Apu, and they've, replaced a lot of the white actors that were voicing persons of color. And this was clearly Tress MacNeille, like, doing her Italian, just babbling impression. Like,
McNeil, famous Italian last name there.
Oh, yeah.
Molto bene. But yeah, and if it wasn't her, I'd be surprised, because like this sounded exactly like the Cygnoids in Futurama, the cockroach creatures that build the pizza place.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it did.
Yeah, and I remember you guys saying that on Shut Up and Take My podcast as well, that part of the episode was a bit
Yeah.
And this is the same, and it's just like I wish they didn't include it.
It's just an odd moment, and I wasn't sure how I was supposed to take it. It felt like them going, this is old Simpsons, represented by this old woman who you're not going to see ever again, but this is us now, where everyone is immediately accepting and totally okay with this. Like, I mean, it's better than having someone being shitty about it, I guess, but also it's just, it feels like they're high-fiving themselves.
Yeah, you don't need it. It's
Yeah.
like, if you're going to build a straw, like if you're going to deal with that issue, why not actually deal into it? Please don't, Simpsons, don't
Yeah,
ever do
you've
that.
not
Please
historically
don't.
done well with it.
No. Yeah, the gay community collectively says no, and I'm representing them here in this very one particular instance. But like you say, it's a straw man that doesn't need to exist there.
Yeah, and their way of proving that's not them anymore is to just do this episode and do it right.
Yeah.
That'll succeed by existing.
Yeah.
That's what stands out to me. Elliot, what about you?
What about me? What stands out to me, for better or worse? I will say I thought that they sort of got Smithers together with this guy a little too quickly and easily. Like, all of a sudden they're having dinner, and my note there was easy peasy dinner at Luigi's.
Hey, I like rhyming notes.
Yeah. But for the most part, it was, kind of sweet. And
Yeah.
I actually, even though I thought Harry Shearer's performance as Smithers in this one was just a bit tired, I thought he had a pretty good rapport with Michael, and that sort of came through on the page. And I think it does have a lot to do with Victor Garber, one of the guest stars for this episode. B just got the I don't know who that is face. He's a wonderful actor. He's the kind of person that you see his face,
That guy from Things. I know him from Things.
He was in Titanic, that guy.
Oh, that guy from Things.
Yeah.
I know him from
I know
Things.
him.
Yeah.
He's in Things, yeah?
Yeah.
He's just been in lots.
Yeah.
He's also in Legends of Tomorrow as what's his name? Heatwave. Him and a younger person combine together and make the superhero Heatwave.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a good show?
Oh, fuck no.
Oh.
The CW superhero shows are a fucking...
Just think of a movie with a stern father figure. It's him.
Oh! 30 Rock. He's the wall guy.
Oh.
Very wool.
That just clicked for me. Sorry, I'm so excited about that. But, I mean, he was fucking great. I thought.
Yeah. And I think you're right in that you buy this relationship. And especially when he's, identifies Smithers as being, intelligent, quick-witted kind of guy. It's like, oh, yeah, Smithers is kind of... Because he's always the whipping boy, you kind of forget that, he's a sharp dude.
Yeah. I also liked that they did get together really quickly, but also it was done under the guise of like a complementing the transaction and kind of like social coding, which is not, it was quick and fast, but it was also a little cheeky, which was nice. Maybe Homer not watching it would have been nice, but like...
Yeah, see, that's going to be my note for worse here, is that I think Homer was just a little too involved and like too much self-pride around, ooh, I'm a gay matchmaker, hooray for me. And then from then on, Marge's like dish, like really didn't feel Marge to me. But
No, I like it as a concept because every now and then we find out her obsession with like trash TV. So the idea is she knows this... what's the Project Runway style import show? That's fine because, again...
America's Got Fabric. I did like that.
That's nice.
It's the idea that she's got that side to her and is like, oh, dish. But they do maybe lean on it a bit too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, to the point where she's sort of crawling over the car and just like leaning into Homer and it's like, damn him, and especially, Julie Kavner, I am so sorry.
Please let that woman just retire.
Let her rest, please.
Like, I mean, from the recent years, Simpsons characters can be replaced and it's no big deal. We had Alex Dessert as Carl in this episode again. But
Just find ways to be like, oh, season 34, Marge takes up mime.
Yeah.
But if they were to replace any of the core cast, I'd say a lot of them would be irreplaceable. But at this stage, for Julie Kavner, for her sake.
It just makes me feel so sad every time I hear it.
Yeah, legit.
And I was talking about this with a friend of the show, Diana, the other day. Hey, Diana. We were talking about the concept of, The Simpsons replacing the voice cast and, like, how long's the show going to go for? And she's like, I just hope it doesn't get to the point where they have them AI programmed, which is a very real possibility. And I'm like, oh, God.
There would be enough material.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Easily.
Shit.
And then it's just robots writing everything. And that's how the robot uprising starts in the entertainment.
Because then she sent me a clip of like the Homer GPS that was built from AI. And it's like, oh, God, this is like really scary. Anyway.
Oh, God, how much information do they have on us? 212 podcasts.
Yeah. I mean, I just saw a Spotify Wrapped. We put out like, over 2,000 minutes of
how long
fucking
till
content.
there's a GPS, which is just me going, turn left here. Oh, hoi hoi.
Wackiness. How was the wackiness in this episode?
Visually wacky.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Visually wacky. I really enjoyed the plaid lake. That was very nice. But not just that one. There was a glitter.
The glitter cloud that the birds fly into and just bounce as a continual cloud.
Tumbleweed down the road. That was excellent.
I think that was our biggest pop of the episode.
It was just so unexpected because everything had been so happy at this point that I'm like, I guess he's going to also be eco-friendly and this is all. There's not going to be any conflict. Oh, wait, there is. Oh, and those birds are rolling down a hill covered in glitter.
Yeah, I think that was it. I was waiting for the Burns to have a problem with him, and I'm glad it didn't.
Yeah, that's kind of what was my assumption as well. But and the fact that Burns is actually like, oh, you're dating this guy, marry him immediately.
Yeah,
He's
pretend
so
to be
rich.
gay. Yeah.
I did actually quite like the back and forth where he's like, Smithers comes to him and says, I need to talk to you about my love life. And I say, oh, who's like a lady? It's a man. Ah, yes, a lady. And just kind of keeps, he's like, his name is Michael. Ah, Michelle. Just kind of hearing what he wants to.
Yeah, I originally started out going, oh, where's this going? But I thought they landed it in the end.
I think so. It's also pretty like in the episode they're going to construct Luigi's mum as like a straw man for that. It's nice to have someone who's aggressively so set in their ways that they won't even try. And it's like,
they can't even hear the words.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, the visual stuff as well. Like, I really liked the effect when Gil fell in the houndstooth paint as well. It was that sort of weird thing where he moved, but the pattern stayed. Like, I thought, like, it's easy to criticize the computer error of The Simpsons that it can feel a bit cold, but I think this is an example where they used it really well.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Corporate toxins should feel cold and alien.
Yeah. And also just the idea of the plant, the processing plant, the fast fashion place exploding and going Chernobyl style, ripped straight from the show.
I was going to ask, have either of you seen that? Or?
Yeah, it's real good. And they do some neat references here, but it's mostly just because the whole town goes black and white except for the smokestacks, which is spilling out rainbow glitter death.
Yeah, that was quite nice. Yeah. And also the sewing machines going up and down as the nuclear rods, right?
Yeah, right.
It took me a second to kind of catch that one. I'm like, okay, I get it now.
Yeah. So there were some nice little wacky visual nods, which I thought was cool. Also, one other wacky thing that we all commented on was the fucking opening.
Oh, yeah. Yodelay who?
Yeah.
Yodeling with potato stamps.
Potato stamps.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was quick. It was, it was unusual. Like, fair enough.
I don't get the link.
Neither do I.
Yeah, no, I don't. But I'm Irish, so I like potato.
And I like, because, I haven't thought about that in ages. Yeah, doing those potato stamps in primary school or whatever.
Yeah. Look, again, maybe it's some reference to, that famous yodeler / potato sculptor. But
a massive member of the queer community. I can't I can't believe I forgot.
Yeah. But no, hey, it was, even if it was confusing, it was quick. It wasn't, 5 minutes of what the fuck is going on.
No, that's true.
Definitely. And like the whole, the fast fashion thing, I thought they did, they didn't dig too deep into it, but a decent commentary of, a modern problem as well.
Well, I like how it mirrors the Springfield tire fire where they're just dumping out jeans and they just immediately catch fire.
Yeah. But talking, the over-exaggeration of the environmental impact, and then, even commenting on taking on desperate and lower-class workers who, and I thought it was great use of those characters who...
have always been your gills and such.
Yeah. Who can often be, a moment of cringe. It was like, you actually felt for them when they, saunter into the bar just like exhausted. And I didn't like Barney going, I fell into the tie-dye machine, cough.
Yeah, let me just pull out this pristine piece of paper to cough onto. Oh, it's tie-dyed.
Yeah, if he didn't set it up, if he just went, I feel sick, clack.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you need. Yeah.
All you need is love. Speaking of Beatles documentary out now. No, I'm moving on to the heart. How was the heart of this episode?
I mean, it got there right at the end with when they introduced the attack puppies, I'm like, Smithers is going to end up with one of these dogs. He even says, I just want someone who loves me unconditionally. Will be there at the end of the day. And then that's what they do. But it still works because puppies.
Yeah. It was there. It wasn't absent, and it certainly wasn't like deep, but it was present, and it wasn't offensive. There's some stereotypes, and those are pretty okay because those are some pretty accurate stereotypes, particularly for the very wealthy in the queer community. And it was fairly all right.
I think just get a bit more Smithers, I think, is good because again, he's been around for so long and yet is kind of unexplored.
Yeah, well, I mean, because that's the problem with Smithers, isn't it? Is that him being closeted.
Documentary coming soon. It's the problem with Smithers.
But no, him being closeted and was often the punchline, which, got disappointing a lot of the times. And like now that he can just be out and out is, a refreshing change for this character. And I think that's why it's sort of picking up momentum on social media at the moment because, he just kissed a man in this episode. And
it's not completely phoned in. You kind of get why they work and he actually feels respected and all these, or again, attracted to a billionaire. Okay.
Yeah.
But, no, again, it's something. And I like, even at the beginning, we was just talking about the dating scene not being great because no one wants to commit and he's a different guy. I enjoyed the journey.
Yeah. Again, I didn't like the whole video of Disco
How
Stew.
it was done was not great, but
Yeah.
the concept of it, was good.
I absolutely agree with that. Yeah, that's for sure.
But yeah, the other problem I had with the heart is like, I don't know, I didn't feel super betrayed by the whole, Michael's reveal of, being a tyrant at the end and like the emotional impact is all. And I don't know, maybe it's just because I didn't expect this to remain a relationship. I don't know.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a little bit more because, I did kind of expect, you've worked for Mr. Burns for years and he's an evil tyrant. Why do you have such a problem? And I wanted him to be like, that's my work life. This is my love life. And that's a different thing.
Yeah.
Which kind of was there, but not entirely.
It's where you have him giving commentary to everyone in the town. That's where he should be next to Smithers, or Smithers should be next to him through the whole thing, and they should be a happy couple. Rather than at the end of that scene where they're holding hands and that sort of thing. Like, we need to see how good they are together.
Yeah.
Maybe Smithers gets a dig in at someone else's fashion after learning from him, or Smithers is next in line, and instead of getting ripped into, he gets a compliment, right? And we go, oh, look, he's a meanie fashionista, but he loves his boyfriend. Amazing.
Yeah.
Something there.
But I mean, I guess from my perspective, at least anyway, it's just their build-up of their relationship just sort of felt more story functional, less, I don't know, something that had great impact on me.
Going to be my big criticism on this one. There's not a whole lot of jokes. It is a lot of story function, but for the story function, it works for the most part.
But ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons? Are these the characters we know and love? Is this the show we know and love?
It's very modern Simpsons. It feels like Simpsons trying to turn a corner. Because, the last time we had Simpsons dealing with gay characters, it was, well, maybe not homophobia. That was season 8, bloody hell. But, not being the most positive about it. So for them to be all like, oh, we're totally accepting of this feels like, but again, I appreciate they're trying to turn a corner, I think, is what this episode is.
Sure.
They're trying to be a bit different and make up for past mistakes by doing this episode. In that sense, it feels like modern Simpsons, or a new modern era, postmodern Simpsons.
Yeah.
I am Simpson.
No, it's crazy in this way as well, because, Johnny Lezepnik is in his early 20s. He is younger than the show, and now writing for it. I mean, good.
That feels weird to think about.
I know. Sorry about that.
It feels weird, but it feels like The Simpsons.
Yeah.
Instead of it being, because when we're on the show and when we're listening to the show, there's often like the modern stuff being slightly distorted and odd, right? It feels like an off-brand Simpsons. This doesn't feel like an off-brand Simpsons. This feels like a spin-off.
Yeah, sure.
Not
the Smithers show,
Yeah, like this feels like a different level of like a different show. Or like, when Scrubs had that weird 8th season or whatever.
Yeah, interns.
That one, where it should have actually been a spin-off, but it was a continuation of the show.
Yeah.
Feels like that, where it's not quite right, but it's also not wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like a distorted, perverted, evil version where we often found it with modern Simpsons.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, aside from, I think Marge is the biggest character integrity break, and even then, it's not a stretch.
No, it's not a stretch to think that she's into this kind of trash TV, but there's just an easier way to lean into that without her being dish everything right now.
Yeah.
Especially because all the other times have been much more subtle. It's been like, oh, I don't usually watch this show. It's just that Sarah's waking up today, and she knows from her coma, and she knows where Diego's baby is hidden, or something like that.
Yeah,
where it's like, you clearly do watch this show all the time, Marge. We know.
But yes or no, would you watch it again?
Yeah. Yeah, I would.
I think I will. And episodes we'd like to watch again, we'd like to think about what playlist they'd go in. What are some other Simpsons episodes that would pair well with this one?
How The Simpsons has related to gay characters across the years.
Yep.
Genuinely, I would binge watch all of them.
It would be a very interesting dissection to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. In timeline, I would love to see how that happens. What that progression looks like.
It's actually wild because recently we reviewed, 3 Gays of the Condo, which just absolutely whiffed it. And that was only 5 or 6 seasons after Homer's Phobia. And then, all the other ones I think we've done with you anyway. So I think you have essentially binge-watched them.
Well, I'm pretty sure on those ones we even said, look, get someone from the gay community to either write or consult on these things, because like with Homer's Phobia, that's what they did, and it was a dramatic improvement. And here they did that, and oh my God, would you look at this? It's a dramatic improvement.
Yeah.
Yes, they're characters, not caricatures.
That's
it.
Points for that one.
Points for that one. I'd put it on the Chris Bond on the Simpson Index.
Yeah.
playlist. But I'd chuck it in the an episode with the hounds.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, the
for
hounds. Sure. Like when they get Santa's little helper, and what's wrong with Hitler?
I remember when he bagged his first hippie. That young man didn't think it was too groovy.
Is there a fashion playlist? Do they ever do many fashion episodes?
Wink.
Thank you. Let me telepathically commune with Ellen.
There definitely is. I just can't think of them immediately.
Well, yeah, because we didn't like where Marge was a drag queen one.
No. There's that one where Bart designs T-shirts for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
That's a good nod.
I think that's our top episode from season
Actually,
16.
no, put it with the one where the kids have to wear uniforms.
Ah, yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Got it at the same place where I got mother's dresses. Good Lord, she's in the park.
Yep. They're big and blinking in unison. I love
Also,
that sound.
that'd be good for the color palette, grays and
Yes.
super colors.
Yeah. Yeah, cool Simpsons rainbow moments.
Yeah.
Chris, what would you like to change about this episode?
Oh, always so much. Always. I would love to change. Like, Marge being weirdly clingy about the whole thing felt unnecessary, but I would definitely change their relationship. I would dive way more into them just being a couple so that when the eventual betrayal happens, it's a greater payoff.
Yep.
Yes.
It hits a little harder.
It
rather
hits-
than having him pay that woman to sing Dancing Queen.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Another guest star of this episode, Christine Baranski, who was in Mamma Mia. Again, if you saw her face, you know.
Yeah.
she sung off key, I thought, actually. Did she? Yeah.
It was very first takey, and the fact that like they put so much emphasis on the first verse,
Yeah.
it's like, it was weird.
Very strange. Yeah, I would change that up. Basically what I said earlier, I would have, instead of them hanging out at the barbecue out the back there, just hanging out, I would have another scene.
Yeah.
And I think some of that you could safely shave off the top of the episode or with the Marge stuff.
Hey, there's time to trim in this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And just have them. We just needed another dinner scene where they're at Luigi's.
Yeah.
I think Luigi and his mum have more screen time than Smithers and his new boy. Like,
Yeah, sure.
legit in that scene. And that's all you need to do is just flip that focus.
Yep, absolutely. How about you, BT?
Yeah, just cut the whole Luigi's mum thing. I don't know why it's there. I do know why it's there, and you don't. Just cut that. And then just tighten up your dogs for the rest of it. There's plenty of time that you can just take out here and add to more important, weighty things. Punch in some jokes. It feels like it's very... Again, I take this as an episode where The Simpsons is trying to turn a corner, and I do appreciate that. It also kind of feels like they're stepping on eggshells a little bit, trying not to make a misstep, but that's part of turning that corner, I think, is being very careful. So, I don't know. But, give me some laugh. Come on.
Yeah, I think all that, I've sort of mentioned a few things that I'd change in the course, but like the one thing that we haven't circled around again yet is I don't like the Mr. Burns puzzle thing. I think it's dumb. I think it's too dumb for Mr. Burns.
It keeps him out of the episode, which is, its function, but...
Yeah.
And I almost like it, which is, but no, it doesn't land.
But no, I feel like that's the thing. It's kind of like the crab people thing. Just why not he's distracted with a puzzle? Like, it's too stupid. Like, Mr. Burns isn't that dumb. And like, that's just my main point on that. Yeah.
Give him something modern.
Yeah.
To double down on the fact that he's out of touch. So give him a video game.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, he's playing like Pong.
Yeah, legit. Like, give him an out-of-date video game. He's playing Tetris, and is like getting really good at it.
Yeah.
He did play Pac-Man that one time where he's
That's right.
kiting the ghost and is like, now the tables have turned.
Yeah, give him that again. It makes him out of date. Give him Mario or something. I don't know.
He becomes a speedrunner.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Time for our final notes.
Now it's time for our final notes. Everyone's final notes.
Chris, do you have any other episodes you want to mention before we rank this thing?
Other notes, I really enjoyed... I had a laugh out loud moment with Homer in his head saying, your last girlfriend was a boy. And then saying it out loud. I don't know. Something about the delivery or the timing of it was very funny.
Yeah, I
enjoyed that.
Just Homer
that one too.
putting it together in his head is like, this perfect opportunity has fallen into my lap.
Yeah, it was cute. I also, the best moment, best joke. Do you like my top?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he seems nice.
Yeah, he seems nice. Best. That's just a very nice, very smart visual gag and nice writing there. Loved it.
Yeah, because I could have sort of taken or leaved all the, his comments about, Helen Lovejoy, Patty and Selma and Bernice and whatever. It's all
Exactly.
just like, yeah, bitchy fashion stuff, whatever.
I mean, they did literally ask for it. They say, "Oh, we love your zingers. Could you?"
And they were into it, and there was something about that sort of was like, okay, yeah, this is just happening. But yeah, to finish it off with that Lenny bit was wonderful.
Definitely didn't see that coming.
Just in that scene, though, I think I could have done without Lisa's whole thing because, like, it felt like her involvement in the story wasn't fully fleshed out.
I think that was entirely Yardley Smith has a contract to speak a certain number of lines per episode, and this was ticking that box.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
definitely.
Also felt super weird for her to be the voice of reason after being tricked just moments ago.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, flip reverse. Why did we have to do that? Just have Lisa be like, no, fast fashion is bad from the get-go, and then go to the place.
Yeah, because you just knew that immediate turnaround when he designed a dress out of a tablecloth was coming. It's just, it didn't do much for me.
Yeah.
Did you have any other notes?
I just loved the teens with the laser pointers. That was fun.
This is why people don't fly over Springfield anymore.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Two more. Homer clocking in when he's getting bitten by the dogs.
I do.
Yeah.
That was very fun.
I can just jump on that one. I
yeah,
liked him clocking in, and then the dogs all just wait, and then once he's punched in, they leap on him. I didn't like the next scene where Marge is pulling teeth and he's bleeding everywhere. It's like, that went from very cute to very distressing.
I really liked it. But I totally get why. Yeah. And the one, I'm going to end on a downer. A bad vibe. The dogs at the start regarding gender.
Yeah.
One who hasn't decided. Cool. What's that about, boys? Two cis male writers. I don't know. Yeah, I gotta rep my trans community friends out there.
They were like, gotta get the trans in there somewhere.
Yeah, and that's not the way to do it. What's that about? Yeah, my boyfriend is trans, and so
yeah, it's surprising because, it's just, I've got no time for these sort of lazy non-binary jokes. And it's like, people's like, oh, this is a new thing. Let me make a joke about it. And it's like,
it's very attack helicopter. It's very that. And I'm like, because there's no, anyway, you know what?
Yeah, and if you don't know the story of I identify as an attack helicopter, look it up. It's
you've
weird.
never been on the internet. Not deep enough.
Yeah.
How about you, BT? Any other notes?
Let's see. Once again, we get a forklift violation because whoever's parked outside of Burns' greenhouse, it has the tines raised, but the forklift is parked. It is settled. Come on. God, it's easy. What else we got?
That's been BT's forklift corner.
Yeah.
Was that you resetting the tines, making sure they were down?
Yeah, down. Mr. Burns hates art. He just keeps it to make sure it doesn't go into a museum.
That was a fucking amazing
Nice.
line.
I did quite like that one.
Very good.
The only puzzle line I did like where Mr. Burns decides to sort them by weight. I'm like, okay. For some reason, that one got me.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. It's nice to date someone who didn't once trapdoor a troop of Girl Scouts because they were out of Thin Mints. I liked that.
Yeah, I love those sort of drive-by jokes that they don't linger on.
Exactly. And then when, he's revealed to be kind of an evil guy, instead of, he has the excellent import of exquisite. Like, okay, that works. And then there's something pouring out of like one of the smokestacks, and Smith is like, is that acid? He's like, no, that's molten sports bra. Like, I don't know. That got me.
Oh yeah, what was the other one? Like 10% of the ocean is now spandex.
Yes, so it'll fit the world better. Yeah. Oh yes, I have a Claire's Did You Ever Notice This corner. We've updated.
Is this the rebranding of Jordan's Anal Corner?
We're modern now, apparently.
Like The Simpsons.
Yep.
Yes.
There's a whole bunch of oil barrels on Mr. Burns' front step, and then the next shot, they're gone.
I noticed that. Yeah.
Are these magical oil barrels?
Are we supposed to believe they can teleport?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
also weird to do the reverse shot just from an animation point of view. Like, why would you shoot that and then anyway.
Immediately in reverse shot?
Yeah, such a non-joke as well.
Yeah. My last one is just, good old character assassin moment of just have the character kick a dog. It's like, that's how they're evil.
Yeah, that was sort of one of those moments where, like, the turn, you already did the reveal of the fast fashion thing with him, like, justifying it. Just to have him randomly kick the dog was just sad.
Well, again, that was the idea that Smithers could maybe handle his evil from a business perspective, but obviously this was, like, the personal perspective. That's the idea. It didn't quite build well enough to make that pay off, but, I can see what you're doing. And, hey, you want to make someone look good, you have them save a cat. You want to make them look bad, have them kick a dog.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, that was so sweet at the end where he put a little bow tie on the dog. And I was just, oh,
dogs wearing clothes.
Yes. What's bad is, though, Blinky wearing a zipper.
Yeah. Again, the concept of, nuclear power created Blinky, but fast fashion killed it. That was a good enough line, but then to have it, he unzips Blinky and it's got like some kind of bling falls out.
Yeah.
Blinky.
Oh, is that why they...
I know that was me, and I'm sorry for everything I've ever done. But
man, sorry to again leave this on a negative note, but yeah,
No,
my
it's
only
fair.
other note is Michael's talking about that he's going to manufacture fidget spinners, and of course Chalmers is in the crowd, and he goes, "Spinners."
Oof.
yes, they just fucking had to.
Yeah, we remember when The Simpsons was...
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, it's time to rank this thing. On the Simpsons Index, we rank using our 6-point scale, which starts down the bottom at failure. Maybe if the episode was just meh, you give it a participant. But for the positive rankings, you got okay bronze, good silver, excellent gold. But for the best of the very best, the episodes which the Simpsons could not exist without, you give cubic zirconia. I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. Damn it.
I'm shamed, but if you want some time.
Nah, I'm going with a bronze. Like, it was fucking close to getting a silver for me, and like, I almost want to reward it for like
Not fucking up.
not fucking up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the fact is, and I think you said it a few times, Beach, it's not very funny. Like, there are a few jokes that I pop for, but like when I try and think about other silvers, I just don't think it belongs with them. But that's just me. What do you reckon, Beach? You said you were chambered.
Yep, same way again. Bronze. Look, I like enough of this. It's a coherent storyline. We get to explore an unexplored character. That's always good. I think it handles most of it quite well. Yeah, it kind of lands. It could have been tighter, like just some parts, really fix some parts up. But, other than that, if it had given me a few more jokes, yeah, I could have moved to a silver. But nah, for what's there, it's a bronze.
All right, and Chris, finish it off, please.
It's bronze.
Hey.
It's an okay episode. There's better shows out there doing social justice stuff that are dealing with political stuff, and they're doing it funnier and better. But this is the first time The Simpsons has done it in recent years where they've actually done it funny enough and well enough. It's not participation, I don't think. So it's sitting safely in bronze for me.
Yeah, I would say it definitely moves above participation because it's trying.
Yeah, and there
for real.
are obvious moments there where it's like where the animation is clearly far greater than participation.
Yeah.
It's not lazy animation and it's not lazy writing.
Absolutely. All right, that will be a unanimous bronze, and the first episode from season 33 to get that, and so
Nice.
it's already on average a better season than the last fucking 15 years. So there you go.
Woo! Let's hope it continues.
It won't.
You sound like you already know that.
No, I don't actually. And you know what? To be fair, a lot of people have been talking positively. There's a 2-parter episode where they do a parody of Fargo with Flanders at the center of it.
Lango.
I think they call it a serious Flanders.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But a few people I follow on Twitter have been talking positively about season 33. But this is the first one I've seen. So
We've got to try as much as we can to broach it with the positivity.
that's it. But yeah, 5 years of doing this show is...
Oh, yeah. We've learned lessons.
Trained you wrong.
There are some scars we can't just undo.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, that was the first episode of season 33 we're reviewing, and now on to the last episode of season 6 we'll review, which is called Round Springfield. Do either of you know what this is?
It's where they develop the theory that Springfield is actually round, not flat.
Ah.
The Round Earth Society?
Yeah.
Those weirdos.
Yep.
All right, we'll be back. And we are back, and we just watched a classic era episode, and my goodness, what a classic this was. This was Season 6, Episode 22, Round Springfield. First released in April of 1995, it was directed by Stephen Dean Moore, with the story by Al Jean and Mike Reese, but the teleplay by Joshua Sternan and Jeffrey Ventimiglia. I'll get to that in a second. In this episode, you should all know this one. This is the one where Bleeding Gums Murphy dies. Spoilers. And Buck gets a jagged metal crustio in his appendix. Hey, Al, what do we think?
Death!
Death!
Guys, that's just the podcast equipment.
Oh, right.
Death! Oh, that was me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I call myself in a mirror.
Right, this is fair.
It's an amazing episode.
Oh my god.
What a great episode to watch.
This was, man, sweet and fun and
Yeah.
fucking weird a lot of the time, but so good.
Yeah. A few little missteps, but overall, yeah, it's one of those ones where if you don't feel something by the end of it, check yourself, you dead.
Yeah, legit.
Yeah, so, yeah, just circling back to the complicated...
Haha, circling.
hey, Round Springfield, I get it.
Yeah.
I made a funny. Yeah, usually I just say written by, but this had 4 credits and it wasn't written anyway. So what happened in season 6 was a very interesting thing where...
tell.
Yeah, at this stage, Simpsons had a 25 episode per season order. And so to deal with the extra load, the Simpsons staff brought back Al Jean and Mike Reiss, who had left the show to go work on The Critic.
Yeah.
And so Al Jean and Mike Reiss came back for 2 episodes to show run in this season, being this and the episode that The Critic was in, the Jay Sherman, Stars Burns Springfield Film Festival. And so the 2 writers as well, one-time writers for The Simpsons, but they were staff writers for The Critic. So yeah, it's like Al Jean and Mike Reiss pitched the idea, these 2, yeah. So I think this one does take a bit of an odd tone that does make it separate from season 6 in a lot of ways. And I've always sort of felt that, never known why, and I think here's your answer.
Yeah, for something that has that many cooks in it, I'm impressed how well it does come together. So,
It definitely feels like it's an episode of The Simpsons put through a filter.
Sure.
Like the critic filter, which is jumps back and forth between serious stuff and slightly irreverent, which is not unlike The Simpsons. It's just the tone in which it
more
does it.
how they do it,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, that was just an interesting bit of backstory. That I mean, I don't know if I knew that before. It's been a while since I did my deep dives into the Simpsons commentaries, but yeah, and coincidentally, those 2 episodes were also ones that didn't originally air in Australia when season 6 was new. They were holdover ones, and I remember this as a kid because it was like a year or 2 later where they were advertising previously unseen episodes of The Simpsons, and yeah, it was this one and The Critic one, which was always weird to me because The Critic one I get, because The Critic was a Channel 7 show, while Simpsons was a Channel 10 show. Why they held this one off, I do not know. Did they want to prevent kids from eating jagged metal crusty? I don't know.
They didn't want to expose kids to the jazz.
Yeah, legit. Or the death.
Yeah.
I didn't know The Critic was on Channel 7.
Yeah. When it was first airing, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because Channel 7 also made the smart play as well. When Futurama was being optioned out, they bought that.
They did.
Took it from Channel 10, who then bought it, and then they sold them to 7 with The Simpsons later on.
Australian TV politics, man.
Honestly.
I hate that, I know this.
No, someone needs to.
Yeah.
There's room in my brain
One
for other
day,
things.
you're going to be an old man in front of a pie and go, and Channel 7 gazumped Channel 10 by stealing away Futurama. More after the break.
Death!
Honestly, you'll be a historian for television for years to come.
Yay.
We need those.
Exactly.
Particularly when television becomes a relic of the past.
And when we're doing holographic podcasts.
Yeah.
The way of the future. Let's hook into this one. BT, for better or worse, what's a moment that stands out to you?
Man, there's a lot, but I think the one I have to go with is the line that always makes me pop, which
Death!
is...
No.
I mean, yes, I did have a good pre-chuckle and I realized that was coming up. But no, it's the one where Bleeding Gums Murphy is just going through flashbacks of his life and he's like talking to the old jazz man. He's like, I've been playing for 30 years and I never got anything out of it. I want you to have my saxophone. It's like, this is an umbrella. I've been playing an umbrella for 30 years. Why didn't anyone tell me? We all thought it was funny. Yeah, that's not funny. It's the response of, that's not funny.
Just as it's just dejected and jaw hanging open. That's not funny.
It's so sad.
There are so many bits of this that are incredibly sad, and yet they're really funny.
Yeah.
Well, and then to follow
again,
that,
it's the other Simpsons joke that we love where it's it implies a bigger universe.
Yeah.
Like them snickering around the jazz club and going, oh my God.
Yeah.
Blind Willie Witherspoon is doing it again.
And then you follow it up with the, that was until my $1,500 a day habit. It's like the Fabergé eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. I remember not quite getting that when I was a kid and then growing up, oh, is it a reference to cocaine, but it's Fabergé eggs.
I think I've mentioned this on the podcast definitely before, but I've always wondered with this scene if that is the real story, that is Bleeding Gums saying that, or Lisa going, what could cost $1,500?
Or maybe him telling her, Fabergé eggs.
Yeah, sure.
It's not really implied. He's in an alleyway with a bunch of broken ones. Doesn't really explain. Maybe he just likes hearing them break.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the idea that you can consume a Fabergé egg.
Yeah.
Like being like, I've looked at this enough. Time to destroy it. I need to get rid of it.
Crack it open and absorb its value.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. This was beautiful. Now die.
Yeah. Kill your darlings.
Yep.
But Chris, what stands out to you from this episode, for better or worse?
I really love the kind of circular storytelling of Bart being the one who's like, you were the one who believed me.
Yeah.
You were the one who believed when I was sick, and so I'm going to do you this favor. It's such a tiny, genuinely, I forgot about it. before I saw the moment when Bart is sick and everyone else is like, oh, go on. And Lisa's like, no. I forgot that was a plot point completely. I was like, oh, that's what's going to... No, it just passed me by. And then when it came around, I was like, oh, of course it is. That's exactly why this happens.
Yeah.
And it's just it seems such an inconsequential moment, but it's in this episode in particular, the attention to detail in writing, just generally, like Bleeding Gums Murphy saying, you'll knock 'em dead.
Yeah.
As his like last lines. Fantastic. What attention to detail that is. So it's those sorts of moments, those little writing bits.
Him giving that cough before he's like, I want you to take my saxophone for luck. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like it's beautiful weaving of the A and B stories in this episode to the point that you don't really know what is the A and B because it starts out with Bart and he like passes the plot baton to Lisa, who takes it, and then they both sort of split off for a while, and
You
then
don't
how
really
it comes
expect it to
together
come
at the
back
end.
at all,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, honestly.
But I mean, I guess it is kind of obvious when Comic Book Guy marks the record to $500. Maybe that is signaling it a bit too hard, but I don't know. I kind of forget at that stage that's how much money Bart got.
Yeah,
It also comes around really quick. The minute he marks it up, it's like next scene. He's bought it and given it to her. It's
Well, next scene is Lisa chasing a bundle of money that's being
true.
trailed by Mr. Burns.
That's
God.
That's true.
And yeah, you're expecting it to. Where am I going to find this money? Here. Oh my God! And he's doing the fishing line bit.
Drive,
So good.
Smithers, drive.
But God, what stands out to me? Dee.
Oh, I didn't know you studied jazz.
I mentioned that on this podcast way too much.
Yep, they know.
But no, I actually brought this episode today because you are a saxophone.
I am
Yeah.
a saxophone.
Yep.
A sousaphone.
Oh, this as well. That was a joke that I always thought he was mispronouncing that. But no, sousaphone is like that big, like, fuck off tuba, like the
Yeah.
one that has to fully wrap around you.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm a saxophonist. I don't get it out nearly enough, and also I should play my saxophone more often as well.
Hey.
But no, yeah, I play saxophone. I like jazz and blues, so
Nice.
yeah.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, not as often as I should. And it's been a bit, but yeah.
Yeah, but your fellow baby bearder, Ellen, is also a saxophone player, right?
Yeah, Ellen is an alto saxophonist, and I play tenor.
Alto's the higher one,
The
right?
smaller one, yeah.
Yeah. I should have
Plays higher, and then soprano above that, and
Yeah.
then there's a baritone saxophone.
Yeah.
Right.
Not bass
You know your
saxophone.
Saturn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Lisa's the baritone player as well, and so yeah, Bleeding Gums then gives her the tenor, and I think that was always like a source of comedy for them. It's like, yeah, let's give Lisa, this tiny little girl, a baritone saxophone.
Yeah, this huge fuck off thing. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I remember getting mine at school because I was tall.
Oh right.
They were like, "What?
You're tall. Have this."
Literally, it was like, "So, what instrument would you like to play?" I don't care. All right, well, you're tall. Here's a saxophone.
Oh, there we go. Because yeah, that was the thing at my school, because they had like brass sort of chorus that they were putting together, and yeah, you could choose between trumpet, saxophone, trombone, or
Sousaphone.
no sousaphone. Fuck.
Flute, clarinet.
Yeah, I think it was clarinet actually, not flute, and there weren't any string instruments in it. But yeah, I picked trombone because like I knew we could get out of school for 2 hours a week. Like I didn't really have an interest in music at this stage. I was just doing it to get out of school. But yeah, the line for saxophone was so long.
Yeah.
And yeah, at one point the teachers were like, hey, I know you guys like The Simpsons, but kind of spread it out a bit. We don't have enough saxophones for everyone.
Then someone was like, who wants to play a bass?
Yeah.
No, yeah, the version of that, instead of Elvis Costello with a bass, it was, Mrs. Whatever, with the trombone going, who wants to play trombone? Wah, wah. Oh, and just speaking of the sax as well, all of the lines were played by Dan Higgins, who has just worked with everybody.
Nice.
He's like just a studio lifer, worked with like Billy Joel and Aerosmith and Steve Miller, just so many artists.
Nice.
Wackiness. How was the wackiness in this episode?
I mean, we get introduced to Lumpy the snake.
We do. We get Jagged O's.
Yes. I just like, how was Bart the only person to sue over this?
Well, he was very lucky.
Yeah.
He got a prize.
Guess he was lucky that he got into surgery. Apparently his appendix was about to burst.
Yeah, that was close.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, yeah, the guy who just follows home around with hot dogs. Get your hot dogs here.
He's putting my kids through college.
It's so good.
That's a good line.
Yeah, these sort of wacky moments are all this sort of...
Like the gas.
Yeah.
at the end.
Why was this isolated to Chief Wiggum as well? Anyway.
Seems like a bigger problem, but oh well. Let's see. Homer has a tattoo of Starland Vocal Band that he doesn't like.
So do you guys know Starland Vocal Band?
Not at all.
Afternoon delight.
Oh, that's them.
Where's the harmony?
Oh, sorry.
I didn't know that's what we were doing. Okay.
Afternoon Delight. Had to resolve that one in my head. Yeah. As well as Homer as well. And when the sign says "Do not feed the bears," you better not feed the. What the fuck is this alive?
A bear just clinging to his arm.
It's also a very small bear.
Yeah. How long does he have
I really
this?
like that.
Like, I don't know if like this shit happened in a new episode. If I'd roll my eyes at it, like, I do wonder how much nostalgia is affecting me here. But this is fucking funny.
Yeah, I think at that point it's just so odd that it passes.
Yeah, I mean, much like Lumpy as well, it's just, it feels like it's only there for Miss Krabappel to go, we've got a clause to,
Second thing, yeah.
yeah, and then, yeah, it does go for the second bite with Chalmers and Skinner.
Yeah, and that's it. I do like the line of, if you ignore me and I'm really sick and I die, you'll be on your fault. So read the school charter.
Yeah.
It's like, no teacher shall be held accountable if Bart Simpson dies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and speaking of all that, yeah, when all the kids visit Bart in the hospital, can we get our appendix out, Doctor?
Sure.
Nurse, prep these children.
Yay! Like,
I do love when they bring it back later. It's like, well, most of the orchestra is having their appendix out.
yeah.
Here's Lisa Simpson, Martin Prince, and with a flute up his nose, Ralph Wiggum.
Nice looking boy.
He does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he knows his cure. Like,
Yeah,
Sure does
he's on
knows.
time.
Yeah. And yeah, he's somehow making multiple notes despite
Magic flute.
what is this as?
Wizard-
Magic flute.
wizard-
Yeah.
Also, the butterfly.
Oh, no one suspects the butterfly. Yeah, a bunch of weird fantasies in this one as well. It's not exactly wacky, but Bart going, what do I do with all this money? All on red. Black. Cool.
I do love the failure fantasies the Simpsons have quite often.
Yeah.
Yeah, that they're still okay with
Yeah,
it.
yeah. It's like, well, I think my favorite might be, my quarterback's damaged. You there in the bleachers. Get your hand off my wife's leg.
Yeah. Well, the one we saw the other day as well is like Homer, like, with you working, I could finally go to the woods and be alone with my thoughts. God, I wish I brought a TV.
God, I miss TV.
Yeah, look, there is so much wackiness to go over in this episode, but I think we can bridge the wackiness and the heart with the final scene, which I wouldn't begrudge anyone if this kind of rubbed them the wrong way with the whole Bleeding Gums Murphy emerging from the cloud thing.
Yeah, it is very trite. But, I mean, by this point, the episode has earned it, in my opinion. But, yeah, if someone's like, oh, that's so cheesy, it's like, you're not wrong.
I think so. I also think that because it's only from an 8-year-old's perspective,
Yeah.
that's
It
what
gets away,
allows
yeah.
you to buy in. And the power of animation. Like, I was musing about it when we were watching it. There's something so, like you say, trite and kind of conceited or corny about having a character in the clowns talking and saying their last goodbyes, right? Like, that's a bit okay. But when it's an 8-year-old and it's in animation, it somehow reads and it is, you can forgive those moments.
Yeah. Yeah, as well. And it's sort of, I think, shining a light on the triteness of it as well by bringing in the famous, other things that have either emerged in clouds or emerged in ghost form. And, of course, they're all James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
Not actually James Earl Jones, but... Oh, and also where Mufasa emerges, he makes the sly reference. Yeah. I'll
Kimber
never
the
forget
White-
you, Kimber.
Yep.
I mean, Simba. I still haven't seen Kimber the White Line.
I haven't either.
No
But I
one
have
has.
seen The Lion King, so I might as well have.
Yeah. God, I've seen 2 different Lion Kings, and I still haven't seen Kimber.
Yeah.
Did either of you catch the new Lion King?
No. The live action one?
Yeah.
No. I dodged it, I think.
Yeah.
Did I dodge it?
Oh, yeah. It's
Nice.
soulless and terrible.
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
I haven't seen any live action Disney just because I don't get it.
Well, a person I was seeing at the time that they were all coming out in cinemas, because we're, both Disney, like, especially the 90s fucking golden run of cubic zirconia Disney movies.
Yeah.
Disney and
Yeah, because, I mean, Aladdin and Lion King are up there with my all-timers. And, we went to the cinema and saw both those and Dumbo and stuff, and they just all have this really cynical feel about them. Oh God, I could go about on this for a while, so I won't.
Different podcast.
Different
absolutely.
podcast. Oh, I don't want to review them.
Yeah, get on
Like,
one.
I want to bitch about them for hours, but also I don't.
Just go to One Good Thing. We have an outlet for this.
That's true.
That's true. I got a nice coffee mug from them the other day.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So yeah, the heart of this episode. Personally, I think it's a lovely moment at the end, and I do love the reprise of Jazzman.
Yeah, look, even the first part where they're just jamming together and Lisa's singing, and they pick something that's actually in Yardley Smith's key, which is
100%.
essential, because one of the big criticisms we had of the Lady Gaga one is she's singing so far out of her own comfort zone.
Yeah,
it
right.
sounds awful on top of everything else wrong with that episode. But no, they picked a good key for her. She's comfortable in it. It's actually moving. My only one real complaint on that first instance of singing Jazzman is they stopped to have this Barney relapsing into alcoholism bit.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's not okay. It's just like, why did you stop in the middle of this moment to have this bit? It's not related to anything.
Yeah, it feels like they thought of, detox and retox and was like, ha 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 ha.
But even then, it's like, it feels like they didn't have confidence in their own heart moment. Like, okay, we've got to throw a joke in there somewhere. Let's just grind to a halt and have this bit. It's like, but why?
That's sort of what I mean when I'm talking about it feels like it's through the lens of the critic.
Yeah.
Because in the critic, from what I've seen of it, which is about, I think, all of season 1 and a bit of season 2, and there's only 2 seasons, so I've seen most of it, is that not only do episodes not really resolve in a positive light or an optimistic light, they're kind of cynical, jaded, New York-y feel. This feels like it would fit there. If you weren't intending to have the episode or these moments fully resolve in a kind of optimistic, positive moment, as cliche and as corny as they can be, the safe bet, throw a joke in there.
Yeah.
Deconstruct it. Have a man dealing with alcoholism. Haha, he's going out of detox into retox. Like, that's a safe way to get out of feeling like you need to navigate this young 8-year-old's emotional journey with her idol who's dying.
Yeah, which is weird because I thought they were already striking that balance with, like, all the people in the hospital jamming out to the jazz thing. Like, the person who throws away his crutch, so guy in wheelchair starts spinning around doing the two-wheel thing.
Hibbert stitching up a guy with just I heart jazz.
Yeah.
That was a very, specific appendix surgery there.
But those are all animation jokes.
Yeah.
And so from a writer's perspective, that's what they would have written in. Hey,
absolutely.
we have this thing, and then here's a cutaway. So I think the animation probably would have stepped in and been like, actually, this is how you animate The Simpsons.
Yeah.
This is how you construct a Simpsons scene, and you don't need to be so cynical, guys. You can actually let this scene run to its entirety.
Well, I mean, even if it was just like Barney, because he's all well dressed in that moment, if he just did a spin and a bit of a dance and he just went from there to there, but the whole, this is a 5-minute chip, it's worth a Pabst. It's like, take that Pabst Blue Ribbon. Our sponsor for this week.
Pabst, when just, fine.
I listen to the Mountain Goats, and so should you, so drink Pabst. I'm a filthy hipster.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, any other heart moments that stood out to y'all?
A bit of anti-heart I really love is like, honey, everyone dies eventually. Remember your kitten, Snowball? Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is we need to go down to the pound and get a new Jazzman.
Just her heartbreak. Oh, Dad.
But I like that it's Homer genuinely trying, but just gets lost halfway.
Yeah.
I also love the moment from Maggie as well, where she sees Lisa and gives her the dummy, and Lisa just takes it. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a really sweet moment.
That's all she's got.
And pays it off when giving it to Homer as well.
Yeah. Oh, and as well, where the next day, where Lisa's at the breakfast table, why won't it stop hurting? The score in this moment, oh my God. Simpsons ambient soundtrack and just score between scenes is so sorely lacking from the modern era. This really sells the emotion, and
Yep.
So good.
Yeah.
Also, Lisa getting to take center stage and just own it.
Yeah.
It's an there are episodes constructed around her soloing and stuff and that being a big deal, but her somehow having the confidence to step forward and do a massive solo and take control of the scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
While the rest of the orchestra has their appendix out.
Legit. Yeah.
They were getting booed.
Hey, Springfield is a harsh place. We know that.
Yeah.
If you suck, they're going to tell you.
Why are so many of these parents turning up? Their kids are in hospital.
They paid for those tickets.
Yeah.
Sure. You got to think about it from the writers of a critic.
Yeah, true. This stinks. It stinks. But ultimately, did it feel like an episode of The Simpsons? Is this a show we know and love?
Through a different reflective lens. But yes.
It feels like it was guest directed by like an episode of, what is it, NCIS or ER when it was directed by Tarantino, but it's definitely The Simpsons.
Well, that's a crazy thing, actually. These 2 episodes that we've reviewed today, same director, Stephen Dean Moore.
Whoa.
That's like wild to think that,
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, the previous episode had all those color moments within the, computer generated Simpsons. So I guess that tracks a little bit.
Yeah. So yeah, the characters themselves, I don't think there's anything that's
No
not
breaks
them.
there.
No, everything's consistent with the characters. Absolutely.
Yeah, and just, the loveliness in a Bart and Lisa getting along episode. And
Yeah, and without it being the focus, it's just being the subtext.
Yeah, the natural resolution to a relationship that started at the start. Yeah.
yeah, and a rare moment where Lisa is on Bart's side from the get-go, and like, because I think normally she would be suspicious of him, like, no matter what era of The Simpsons. And yeah, I think there's just a nice, like, brother-sister intuition or something going on there. Yeah. Sibling intuition. Sibluition. It's not a word.
It is now.
Yep. Anyway. Yeah, that's pretty cut and dry, but yes or no, would you watch this one again?
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. Me too. And episodes we want to watch again, we want to think about what playlist they go in.
Jazz episodes. Bleeding Gun Murphy episodes.
Yeah, so pair this, obviously, with, what's it called? Moaning Lisa.
Yep.
The season 1 episode. That's the other thing. When they cut back to just, like, update you on what episode they're referencing, fuck, it's a stark contrast in animation, isn't it?
Absolutely. I never saw that first episode on TV.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because they started pulling those old episodes from circulation. Like season 1 and season 2 episodes did not see as much airplay as post 3 up.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
was a weird moment I had with this episode where, Lisa bumps into Bleeding Gums like, oh, it's been a long time. Like, you mean earlier this year? Because for you, this has been, you're still 8.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So within the Simpsons chronology, it hasn't been that long. But at the same time, yes, it has. Look, discussing time in the Simpsons is a
But yeah,
dangerous
also in
idea.
the Simpsons chronology, this is, a 6th of their run between those 2
Also
times.
true. Playlist, The Hibbert Family.
Ah, yeah.
We once again get a reference to just the extended family of Dr. Hibbert.
True.
Yeah, because that's right. He has that brother in who's...
At the orphanage who
Yeah,
tells
that's
Homer
right.
where Herb is living, and every now and then you get a little reference to Hibbert's bizarre family history.
Huge family.
Yeah. It's all been separated somehow.
Yeah.
I'd add in Bart Gets Sick or hospital visit episodes.
Yeah, definitely. All I'm thinking of is the clip show where Homer goes to hospital.
Yeah, that was the one I was kind of thinking of.
But there's also Homer, the kidney one with Grandpa, who once again is facing death.
How about episodes with references that are technically quite uncomfortable, however they still work as a scene, specifically when they go to the Cosby Show. And I like that Bleeding Gums doesn't even have lines on the show. He's just standing there.
He looks awkwardly around and it's like...
And he's all like, this is your grandpa. It's like, we already have 3 grandpas. He's a jazz musician. They're all jazz musicians.
Well, yeah, I didn't actually know until much later, but yeah, Bill Cosby was a jazz drummer.
Oh, wow.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And that's, I don't know if I've ever seen a full episode of The Cosby Show, but apparently, he tried to integrate it in a lot. So
And good luck. And that, the whole thing with, the kids today that listen to the rap music with the hippin' and the hoppin' and the bippin' and the boppin', so they don't know what the jazz is all about, is a bit we have quoted a lot, and then it got uncomfortable due to no fault of The Simpsons.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It is, but I still enjoy the bit.
Also, Krusty at the top of the episode. What is it? Ms. No means no?
Yeah.
It's like, that's uncomfortable now.
Yeah.
It's a weird way to start the episode. I don't know if I vibe with it.
Yeah, I don't know if I do either. It reminds me of every time people are like, oh, The Simpsons got censored because of violence. And I'm like, yeah, Australian censors were dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
That got through every time.
Yeah, that was the 90s or whatever.
Oh, yeah, violence was bad. Sex is fine.
Also do, like, say the, when he's like, I'm surprised he doesn't blame it on his Percodan addiction. Like, that's got some Roseanne vibes.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what Percodan is.
Ah, I don't know either, but she blamed her racist tweet on...
It's a sleeping drug, right?
I can't remember what drug she blamed it on, but something. And it's like, yeah, that's a different context, not your fault.
Yep. But, no episode is perfect, and we like to explore what we'd like to change about them. So, BT, starting with you, What would you like to change about Round Springfield?
Just bits and pieces. Yeah, that Krusty bit, I'm not sure where we're supposed to land. To be entirely fair, they do portray Krusty as being way more criminal in this one. Like later on, they've got that press conference with, all the problems. Like, and I maintain those tourists were decapitated before they entered Krusty's house of knives.
Yeah.
So it kind of becomes so ridiculous that it's all okay again. But a little weird. And just that bit with Barney and Moe in the middle of the heart. It was like, why are you breaking up the heart moment? Outside of that, I don't have a lot of complaints on this one. There are certain screws you could tighten, but overall, it's pretty good.
What about you, Chris? What would you like to change?
I think it feels a little too cynical for an episode that hangs itself around heart as a concept.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a laugh a second sort of episode, like we've seen in previous Simpsons episodes, like You Only Move Twice, where the focus is like amazing improv, amazing visual comedy, like go, 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 go. This sort of hangs itself, and it's season 6, so it's deeper into the series as a heart episode. This is going to build towards an emotional climax, and our young characters are the prime sources of that. Just feels a little cynical. Things like having to make Krusty such a villain is like, well, do we need to do that? Do we need to bring in those like sexual harassment lawsuit thing?
Yeah. Well, especially it doesn't make sense in the context of a kids show, and that also their sponsors Percodan, like that. I felt like the joke kind of was a bit labored in that way as well.
Yeah, it just felt, I don't know, for me, cynical. And so I would brighten those moments up. Maybe instead of Wiggum getting like struck by the gas, which just that tiny bit feels a bit off. Like it just needs to be a little brighter. I don't know, something.
Well, yeah, I think he was outside the Quickie Mart as well. So if like you just saw Snake fucking bailing out of there with the squishy machine or something,
Yeah.
He's meant to be, the joke they're making is he's so distracted by the jazz that he doesn't, no one cares about anything else going on.
Yeah.
So you can do that without poison gas. I do kind of like him passing out, just going, oh boy.
Yeah, I love the visual gag of it. I just feel, I don't know.
But yeah, when you think about it, it's like, what are we doing here?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have too much more to add to that. And I guess, I don't know, the heads in the clouds thing, you could, but I like it the way it is. Like, yeah, there's a lot of this episode that I like. So yeah, those sort of, bummer moments sort of are a bit more grating because of that. It's like, oh, damn, it's so close. Yeah, that's about all I've got to add to that. Guest stars. So, yeah, of course, mentioned before, Dan Higgins on the sax. Ron Taylor returning for his second performance of Bleeding Gums Murphy. So he was an actor that tragically passed away in 2002 at the age of 49. But, yeah, he also had big roles in Star Trek Deep Space Nine and Twin Peaks.
He was the Deep Space Nine guy?
Yeah, and Steve Allen is returning for his second appearance on The Simpsons.
Being Steve Allen.
As Steve Allen.
Yeah.
Inventor of the POG.
This is a bit that confuses me, and yet I still find it really funny.
Yeah, I think this is... Yeah, it's something about the wackiness here where it's such a specific person that is so, like, foreign to us. Like, he was the first host of The Tonight Show before Carson,
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's such a specific reference, but, he seems game to make fun of himself.
That's the thing. It's got the energy to still be funny, even though I don't really get it. So why he's got all these books about himself, I don't know, but it's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's sort of New York cynicism. That's what I mean. Yeah.
To New York.
To New York for me.
I'm Simpsoning over here.
But, yeah, Steve Allen's first appearance in The Simpsons was during Separate Vocations, where... Bart was imagining him testifying in court as an adult, and it's like Bart's voice replaced with the voice of Steve Allen.
Oh, yeah.
Ay, caramba. And, of course, we get a bit of Hartman. We got Phil Hartman playing Lionel Hutz in this. And I didn't know this until I was doing the research for this episode. The lawyers, his crack team that he introduces, their names are a play on the defense lawyers for the OJ case.
Oh, really?
Oh.
And then they all drive away in a white Bronco.
Oh. I mean, that's it. I didn't get that at all. I just like how he's got one of them, and his reason for being there is he can fit 3 billion balls in his mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's his specialty.
Actually, that guy's been in The Simpsons before as well.
Yeah,
I can't quite remember when. Anyway, that's the guest stars. It's time for final notes. Chris, have you got final notes?
I really like the cynicism. See, I'm flip-flopping, right? But I in this moment of comic book, when the price is boosted from $250 to $500.
Yeah.
That's nice kind of cynicism.
Oh, he's dead? Why didn't you say so?
Yeah, and you're like, oh, fantastic. No, it subverts it. That's some nice stuff there. I like that. It's a nice moment.
No, absolutely. And BT, do you have any final notes?
Of course I do. George Washington Carver was the man who chopped up George Washington. Willie teaching French. Bonjour!
Yeah. This has its own subsection in Wikipedia titled Cheese-Eating Surrender Monkeys.
Really? Because he says that at the end, yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it just entered the lexicon far and wide.
Yep. Dr. Nick, when he's all like, okay, just breathe backwards and count to 3 and you'll be in a nice slumber. Oh, wait, maybe I fiddle with these knobs. What smells like gas? Happy gas. Maybe.
It doesn't make sense that Hibbert's also not fainting over Bart, but that's just a horrifying thing, falling under the anesthetic and the doctor collapsing on you.
Yeah, just Dr. Nick in general.
Also, it's a rare time where Dr. Nick and Hibbert are working together for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed that.
And let's, of course, not forget Dr. Cheeks. He's doing his rounds and he's a little behind. Classics.
I had a pog of that.
Really? Of Dr. Cheeks?
Yeah, of Dr. Cheeks. I'm pretty sure.
Wow. Feels like they wouldn't make that anymore. It's a rarity.
Yeah,
It's a
right.
collector's item.
Yeah, because they don't show Bart's butt on TV anymore.
No.
When Lisa stops brushing her teeth, she can sound like bleeding gums. That's just got some heart right there.
Yeah.
Yep. Brush your teeth, kids.
Yep. Death! That's just Maggie. Oh, I'm sorry. Death! Yeah.
Like, okay, and that's another one where, like, I'd understand if people got annoyed of that scene, but then that he pops up back in the backyard and just staring
yelling
at the bird bath. Yeah. So good.
And we welcome to Mole Man in the morning. Good Mole Man to you. And again, what is a miserable joke? Because he's like, now part 13 of the miserable atrocity that is my life, or whatever. It's like, I don't know why I'm laughing at this man's misery, but it's funny.
Mole Man.
Exactly. Just the ultimate pog is funny as hell.
Yeah.
And then, the heart moment of back and forth between the pog and the album and Lisa and pog and album. It's da-da-da.
Yeah, it's laying it on thick, but
it works.
Then Bart does the reveal quickly, like you know where it's going.
Yeah,
like,
you don't have to hold on it at all. And then I think a bit that both you and I only noticed on this watch through was the jazz radio station out the front has the sign that says 152 Americans can't be wrong.
Yeah. No, because I've always fucking hated that when advertising do that. Yeah. 20,000 of our customers can't be wrong. And I'm like, yes, they can.
They absolutely can.
There are large groups of people with bad opinions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that just pulling focus on that. I don't really have any other notes other than... Yeah, because you're talking before, Yardley Smith, she works well in songs when she has limited vocal range.
Yep.
Much like Billie Holiday, who apparently Bleeding Gums Murphy has a date with.
I mean, nice.
Yeah, and similarly, she only had like just a little over an octave range, but she is the fucking one of the best singers of all time. And
yeah, she knew how to use what she had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Billie Holiday's great. Go check out that documentary and just get pissed off at the US government. All right, it's time to rank this thing. Chris, why don't you take charge and lead this one? What would you like to rank it?
I'm going to place it in gold. Thank you very much.
Nice. Big old gold.
Big old gold. It's a great ep. And it's got the right heart.
Yep.
Even if it feels like it's through a weird New Yorkie lens.
Yep. BT?
Yeah, I'm going to go gold as well. It's a great episode. I don't really have a lot of things I want to fix about it, but I agree with Chris that it's just this vibe that it's just a little bit off-center for what The Simpsons usually is that keeps it from being essential. That said, yeah, fantastic. Really enjoyed it.
Yep, I'm there as well. It's not far from being a cubic. That's kind of the shame, but like this is one that's always had an odd feeling for me, but yeah, it's definitely not a silver. It is just packed full of so many memorable bits that do live in my brain a lot.
And so we are giving this the gold finger.
Oh.
Sorry.
Don't apologize.
You had to do it.
Apologize.
All right, guys, that does it for season 6. To fucking 25 episodes. We have finished it. So season 6 got an average score of a dull cubic zirconia.
Ooh, nice.
It's currently tied with season 7 for having the most cubic zirconias given out of any season. And the best episodes of the season were Treehouse of Horror 5, Lisa on Ice, Homer Badman, Grandpa vs. Sexual Inadequacy, Homer the Great, and Maggie Makes 3, Bard's Comic, Bard vs. Australia, Lisa's Wedding, 2001, Greyhounds, The PTA Disbands, The Springfield Connection, Where Marge Becomes a Cop, Lemon of Troy, and Who Shot Mr. Burns Part 1. And the season low, and the reason that season 6 is sitting in number 3 on our best season count is another Simpsons clip show.
Yep. Clip shows always tank it.
Yeah, but especially this one, which is our worst clip show because it is so poorly put together. It's the romance one for those that don't remember it. not even the Simpsons writers like it or want to acknowledge it. They credited the writer as Pennywise.
The dancing
Woof.
clown.
I didn't know about the writing credit. That is,
Yeah, the commentary of it, they're like kind of embarrassed that they even had to do this one.
Yeah.
jeez.
And it's so annoying because if that wasn't a factor, because that, got a shiny failure from our panel. If that wasn't a factor, season 6 would easily be the best season. And like, it's my personal favorite because of that. And I'm always like conflicted because it should be the best season, but you do got to take the season
As a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I mean, other than that, obviously fucking amazing season. And glad to cap it off with you guys today with this.
Yay.
Not perfect, but excellent still episode. Because, even the golds of fucking season 6 are still great. You know, A Star is Burns and Bart's girlfriend. What are the doll cubics? Oh, Bart of Darkness. That's one where I was so mad at the other person on the panel for giving that a gold.
It's rare when I can literally tell you're trying to sway them up from their gold. You're like, so just as a reminder, scale goes to cubic zirconia.
Yeah. I think there's an argument for actually all the dull cubics in this one to be full.
I mean, there often is. But.
Yeah, Homie the Clown. That's another one where I was
I
like...
saw that online on your Twitter.
Yeah.
And absolutely, that to me is cubic.
Yeah, that's a perfect episode. God damn you, Philip Wolf. And Homer versus Patty and Selma. I can kind of get that. And also, we're talking about one good thing before. Itchy and Scratchy Land got a dull cubic as well. That was a 50-50. Anyway.
Thanks, OG team.
Thanks, OGT.
That about does the Simpsons Index for this week. Thank you guys for joining us live in the studio.
I know. Within slapping distance.
And I didn't even need to get slapped today. How
You're still too far away for me to be bothered. But...
Needs to.
Yeah.
Wants to.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. Let's.
Now give me a taste. Now all three. Excellent.
And now the friends claps. Chris.
Yeah.
What you doing, man? Who are you? Where are you going?
I'll tell you
Who
where
are
I'm
you?
going.
What are you doing?
I'm going to an award ceremony this afternoon.
What for?
For your award-nominated podcast. And-
Exactly. Roll to Cast. ROLE to cast. We are a tabletop role-playing actual play where we play different tabletop role-playing games each season. We are experimenting with different game runners, and we have professional actors, a composer for each season, so there's an original soundtrack, and we play in different systems. The system that's coming up is the hot new show on Netflix, The Witcher. So if you like the world of The Witcher and you love role-playing games, or maybe you have never tried a role-playing game and D&D isn't really your jam, check out Roll to Cast. And if you do love role-playing games and D&D is your jam, come check out Roll to Cast.
There's literally no excuse not to.
Literally none. If you don't even know what role-playing games are, come check it out, because we just tell cool stories anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's been absolutely wonderful, watching, because, obviously it came through you guys through Shut Up and Take My podcast, the Australian Futurama podcast, and just seeing how you guys have evolved the brand and moved on to the YouTube with the Let's Plays as well and everything. I'd still love to see the rest of the Donkey Kong Country playthrough.
So do I. Hey, go to Baby Pit Media on YouTube and watch the Donkey Kong series, because I want to finish it, and Sean does as well.
Yeah, no, absolute great time, and absolutely love your work. And
thanks, man.
Yeah, always love working with you as well.
Likewise, the podcast that is also a spreadsheet, love it to death.
It's an honor to have your names gracing our spreadsheet. And BT, what are we doing?
Well, we're doing a lot of things. You can go to patreon.com/sidequeststudios if you want to pay for those things, or just any podcatcher you want if you don't. You can check us out on, what's our other show? God, bless my brain for a second there. You can check us out on Thrones of Game, the Game of Thrones podcast where we watch the series backwards, and it is now complete. Elliot Jay O'Neill is now the only man in the world to have ever seen Game of Thrones, but only backwards. So that's an amazingly fun show. Had a great time doing that one. I miss it. I genuinely do. Other podcast is Pulp Fury Radio. This is our scripted podcast where we take pulp genres and tell original radio plays with some amazing actors and great Foley work that we all directed and did ourselves. Very highly recommend and very proud of it all. One day I'm just going to write a goddamn script for how to plug that fucking show.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot
get
to
it
mention.
wrong every time.
It's a lot to mention and go through, and it's not the easiest one to pitch. But yeah, there's 5 different stories across a range of genres: sci-fi, horror, mystery, noir. And yeah, it was an absolute fun time to make. And Chris has been on a few of those episodes
I have.
as well.
And my favorite podcast listening moment is Pop Fury.
Oh,
The noir story is my favorite
wow.
podcasting moment to be as a listener.
thank
I
you,
was
man.
walking around. I was like, I could only experience this in podcast. It's a delight. So go listen to it, everyone.
Oh, thanks, man. And yeah, thank you all for listening as well. And yeah, once again, the Patreon for $5, you can unlock over 40 podcasts that we've
40?
Got going there if you can't get enough of us. And yeah, that about does it for the Simpsons Index for this week. Once again, thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you very much for having me.
BT, thank you as always.
Death!
And I've been your host, Elliot Jay O'Neill. That's all the mustard in the house.
Thank you for listening to the Simpsons Index podcast, which is also an online spreadsheet available at thesimpsonsindex.com. You can chat to us online at facebook.com/thesimpsonsindex or at Simpsons Index on Twitter and Instagram. And now please stay tuned for the bonus scenes! It was only mustard. Okay.
I've been playing mustard all these years.
That was a better ending. We should have used that one.
All right, I have waveforms.
Waveforms?
Hey, it's me. It's my voice on TV.
Dad, you're ruining the moment.
Sorry.
All right, pod stretches.
Yep. Gotta get I've forgotten all my tongue twisters all of a sudden. Halle Berry's Hairy Belly. There we go. That's a classic.
That's a good one.
Halle Berry's Hairy Belly.
Paranoid Android and Panama Canal. I don't know.
What is it? The thistle sifter?
I always do
the
six thick thistle sticks.
That's a good one.
I like 66 swizzle sticks.
Oh, yeah.
I have articulatory agility.
And I am not a pheasant fucker.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a phase.
No, let me say words instead of a bunch of straining sounds.
Those were good. Do more of them. There we go.
That's how Trace McGinnell got that job.
Yeah. What the fuck was I going to say now?
Yeah, Al Jean and Mike Reese, who were not the showrunners for this season.
Yeah.
Sorry, it is all good, right? Sorry, you keep looking over there, and I'm like, because it's not in my field of view.
My direct, comfort straight ahead is at nothing, so it's kind of an effort to tilt either direction, and sometimes I overcompensate. So just like, how are you, computer? Okay, that's good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I just like looking at things, particularly things that go make little wave sounds.
Mm.